So I started this year on a journey of spite on multiple levels. One, as far as finding primary sources, so I can actually cite said sources whenever I need to, but also of trying to prove the world wrong, because last year at the end of the year I got the whole "you can't read 100 books in a year" thing, and then I was like, okay, bet. And then I started reading the Gilmore Girls reading list, and I was like, well, this is going to take me 4 years to do, but we're going to do it anyway. So then I found this, and this came up as I was going through my spite learning phase, where I just started learning about all the ancient civilizations from Greece to Rome to the Middle East and then up through Europe. But this requires a lot of primary sources. So because I read that in April, I picked this up and finished it in June. This is awesome. It gives the history and the timeline of the Peloponnesian War, which is really cool, and I really like that. Then I picked this up and decided to get through the mythology part of it, and it's super short. It was like 80 pages. I took it to the pool, as you can tell, but definitely interesting, worth a read if you're interested in ancient Greece. Then I finished this one, which is a really good book. It was written in 1935, and the author, his wife, was a journalist in Germany as Hitler was rising. So it almost seems like he took her experiences in watching that rise and then translated it into a book. The book is about a newspaper editor who is watching this rise of a dictator happen and doesn't do enough to stop it until it's too late. I had to put this one down a lot because there were a lot of parts where it was like very much too close to home. So I was like, okay, we're going to take a break here. So this one took me a couple weeks to read, even though it's pretty small. But really great book. I really like his writing. I'm going to read Babbitt here soon. Then I jumped back to primary sources in June and did the Homeric hymns. I really like this translation. It's really basic. If you want like the nitty gritty of the mythology, this is a really good primary source. I really like the Dionysus myth because it reads like an acid trip and it cracks me up. And then the last day of June, I binge read Slaughterhouse-Five. I picked this up a couple of months ago, and I've been meaning to read it after I read Breakfast of Champions because I really loved Breakfast of Champions. And I was like, okay, well, if Breakfast of Champions is good, this is going to be good too. So I picked it up. I binged it in a day. I think it's like 300 pages. It is awesome. And then within it, there were 3 other books mentioned. So I picked up those books and have them. Well, one of them I've already read, and then the other 2 are on my list. But I really like this. And coming on the back of It Can't Happen Here, like it was a really good combo. But yeah, I understand why this had the following that it did. Then the first week in July, I started the Iliad. Love this book, love this translation. It was very violent. That's not why I love it though. It was very clean storytelling, very easy to understand. It wasn't too flowery, if that makes sense. So yeah, this is the Fagles translation. I've had it on my bookshelf for like, I don't know, 10 or 15 years, and I never touched it. And I was like, well, the movie's coming out, I may as well. So then I read it. And then after that, I read The Odyssey, and I got this finished like 3 or 4 days before the movie came out. Still haven't gone to see the movie, but I finished it. Again, Fagles translation, really good. I know he used Emily Wilson, but like I said, I've had these on my shelf forever. So I finally picked it up and read it. And apparently, with the Iliad specifically, Sir Ian McKellen does the audiobook for it, for the Fagles translation. So that's fun. Then I did a one-day read of The Great Gatsby. I hadn't read it since high school, and I really just wanted to get through it because I wanted something quick to read. I'm neither here nor there on it. Like, I enjoy some of the writing, but I'm still salty at the fact that he stole half of it from his wife. So there's that. But I don't know. It's there. Then back in February or March, I picked up wow, back in February or March, I picked up East of Eden. And when I picked it up, I saw that they're doing a Netflix series on it. And then I started seeing the ads for it, or like the trailer, I think. So I was like, well, I better read this because it's going to come out soon. So I read this. I love John Steinbeck. He always traumatizes me. And this was no different. But I was really disappointed in the ending. It is very similar to The Count of Monte Cristo, where it like builds you up and builds you up and builds you up, and then it fizzles out so fast. And it's just, I don't know, it made me really mad, and it made me really disappointed because I really love the story that he was building. It's just, it fell flat, and there were a lot of untied ends, and like, I understand why, at least I think I understand why. From what I can find, he was very emotionally drained after a certain scene. So, like, I get it, but also it's, I don't know, the writing is beautiful, but the ending is not. Then I read The Valley of the Dolls. I really enjoyed this book. I picked this up because it's one of the books mentioned in Slaughterhouse-Five. And I had heard about it from multiple people throughout my life. I had heard it referenced multiple times throughout my life, but like I never really knew what it was about. And then I saw it in Slaughterhouse-Five. I was like, well, let's give it a try. So I picked it up, and I really enjoy this book. It is a good snapshot into the entertainment industry from after World War II up until the 60s. If you like Mad Men, this kind of gives that vibe, except entertainment instead of advertisement. So I don't know. I really like this book. I really like the characters in it. The first 120 pages I found very cringy, but I think that's because it's a 20-something-year-old making 20-something-year-old decisions. And some of them are mistakes that I myself have made. So it's like, I know how this is going to end, and it's not good. So like, I'm like internally cringing the whole time. But once it gets past the first character and she goes back into the other two characters that she focuses on, I really like it. The only gripe that I really have is that there aren't chapters. It's based on characters, and that first character is like 120 some odd pages. So it's just like, it felt like it was dragging up until it switched points of view. But overall, I really liked it. I love the storytelling in this book. I highly recommend it. Then the last book for July was Herodotus the Histories. I didn't finish it until the 1st of August, but it was only 10 pages that I had to finish, so I'm still counting it for July. I picked this up right after Valley of the Dolls. I picked it up to read it, but I bought it when I bought Thucydides. And I saw it on my shelf, and I was like, I really need to read this, so that's what I'm going to do. So I picked it up. I got through it. I really heavily enjoyed this. It read like a gossip column. I like Herodotus. I like how he wrote. I love all the research that he did 2,400 years ago. And I love that it was preserved. If you have any interest in any kind of history and the Persian Wars specifically, pick this one up. It's worth it. Now it's the first week of August, and this is what I have on my docket. I started on The Metamorphosis and Other Stories by Franz Kafka. I'm only like the first 2 stories in. For whatever reason, as much as I like the writing, I can't get sucked into this. I don't know why. I tried reading The Metamorphosis before, and I struggle, but I'm going to push through it this time, and I'm going to get through it because it's only like 160 pages. I should be able to do it. And then I'm working on the Greek plays. These are all the tragedies. So I'm working through that this week as well. And then the rest of August, I have these guys plus a few others. But that is my June, July, and August for you guys. I hope you guys found something that you like. And if you didn't, then I'm sorry. I hope you guys have a great time. Bye.